They cut down my trees while I was at work, so I made sure they'd never build anything on that land again. My house sits on 2 acres in a quiet neighborhood that used to be all farmland. I bought it in 2019. The lot next door was empty, just grass and a row of 6 massive oak trees right along the property line. Those trees were easily 80 years old. In summer, they shaded my whole backyard. Then Victor Solis bought the empty lot. He wanted to build his dream house. Modern design, floor-to-ceiling windows, the works. His architect was a guy named Brian, who wore black turtlenecks and drove a Tesla. The first time I met them, they were standing in the lot taking measurements. Victor asked if I'd ever thought about trimming those oak trees. I told him they were on my property, and I liked them where they were. He nodded. Brian looked at them like they were in his way. 3 months later, I came home from work on a Wednesday, and all 6 trees were gone. Just stumps. A tree service truck was still parked in Victor's driveway. Wood chips covered everything. My entire fence line was exposed. The shade was gone. I stood there feeling sick. I walked over and asked the crew chief who hired them. He showed me the work order with Victor's signature. I went to Victor's house and knocked. He answered holding a glass of wine. I asked him why he cut down my trees. He shrugged and said they were dropping leaves into his lot and the roots might interfere with his foundation. I told him those trees were on my property. He paused, then said, "Are you sure?" Because they were right on the line. I told him I was sure. I had a survey. He smiled and said, "Well, they're gone now. Nothing we can do about it. Sorry for any inconvenience." That's when I walked away. I pulled my property survey from 2019. All 6 trees were clearly on my side, some by as much as 8 feet. I took photos of the stumps and the property line. I got a written statement from the tree service confirming Victor hired them. Then I called my lawyer, Tom. He read the survey and let out a long breath. "That's timber trespass," he said. "In this state, that's triple damages." He sent Victor a demand letter that week. Victor's response came from his own attorney saying it was an honest mistake and offering to pay for 6 replacement saplings. Tom laughed when he read it. "Those were 80-year-old oaks," he said. "We're not talking about saplings." We filed suit 3 weeks later. In court, we presented the survey, the photos, and an arborist report valuing each tree at $28,000 based on age, species, and size. 6 trees, $168,000 total. Under state law, intentional timber trespass meant triple damages. That's over $500,000. Victor's attorney argued it was an accident and that the trees were a hazard. Our arborist testified they were healthy and not a hazard to anyone. The jury took 4 hours. They ruled in my favor and awarded $504,000 plus legal fees and court costs. Victor couldn't pay. He had to sell the empty lot just to cover part of the judgment. I placed a lien on it for the rest. The developer who bought it couldn't build because of the lien. The land sat empty for 2 years. Victor lost everything. His dream house was never built. If you were on that jury and you'd do the same, like, subscribe.